In the Fight, Laugh, Feast family party, which is the Fight, Laugh, Feast Facebook group. Join it if you want to join the conversation. Somebody posted this article. It's from my old state of Vermont. Vermont is a beautiful state, but it's a little bit crazy. There's no question about it. We have a Republican governor who is, banning bump stocks. He's for abortion, and he's also for all of this insanity regarding the coronavirus. But I've moved to New Hampshire now, so I'm living free or dying over here, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I want to read this article. It is hilarious. Let's dive right in. It says, Vermont Governor Phil Scott Friday said that despite the state's low virus percentage, the explosion of COVID-19 across the country prompted him to sign a mandatory mask order that begins August 1st. If you look at the numbers of coronavirus, Vermont and New Hampshire, very few cases of coronavirus. And the curves are flat, everything's going great. But because everywhere else is getting the coronavirus, we have to have mandatory masks here. This is the stupidity of a lot of this thinking. Like, why would we treat every group the same? Like, it doesn't make any sense for a situation in the city to affect the situation in the country necessarily. We shouldn't handle these things the same way. Plus, not to mention the fact that you can't make me wear a mask. It's not constitutional in any way. But let's continue reading, because this is where it gets funny. Scott said that the statewide mandate applies to public places both inside and outside when physical distancing is not possible. It will apply to everyone over the age of 2 except when eating, drinking, exercising, or participating in strenuous activity. I guess it's a sliding scale, you know what I mean? Because if you're really fat, then, walking is strenuous activity. I'm not making fun of them, but it's just a fact. And when you're younger and small and thinner, maybe more fit, you've got to be running for strenuous activity. So, it's a sliding scale. I know that would probably be discriminatory, but I guess you'll see me in court, the next time I visit Vermont, which I do every Lord's Day because I go to church in Vermont still. I will not be wearing a mask outside when I'm at church. No question about that. Of course, if my pastor tells me to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask because, it's his church, I'll wear a mask if he asks me to wear a mask. But I'm not going to comply with this mandate. Absolutely not. I'm non-compliant. But let's continue because it gets even funnier. Those with medical reasons not to wear a mask will be exempt. Okay, that sounds reasonable, but get this. No written documentation will be required. So, if you get stopped for not wearing a mask, all you have to do to avoid any problems is say, oh, I've got a medical condition. And so I'm trying to think, what should I say if I get stopped for not wearing a mask? Because I'm definitely not wearing a mask outside, because obviously you can't catch the coronavirus being outside. All the data says that. It was common knowledge from the beginning, even if you've been following this kind of just in a very small way. You can't catch the coronavirus being outside. Doesn't matter if you're doing eating, drinking, strenuous activity, a little bit of activity, just standing there. It doesn't matter. You can't catch the coronavirus outside, obviously. But if I get stopped, what should I say? I mean, I could always go with the old faithful. Well, I got a medical condition. I've got asthma. But I'm thinking of something a little bit spicier. Here's what I'm thinking about saying. Imagine this. What would the police officer say if he stopped and says, sir, you don't have a mask on. Why don't you have a mask? And I said, sir, well, hold on. I've got a medical condition. He's like, yeah? What's the condition? He said, well, see, I've got this problem in my brain where I think clearly. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's uncommon, but I actually think clearly about these things, and that's my medical disability, I guess. I guess to be in compliant with this, you've got to be thinking so poorly that despite all the science, despite all the data, despite all the facts of the matter in Vermont, I'm still going to do what you tell me. No, I'm not going to do it. My disability is mental, therefore I will not be participating in this. By the way, here's my documentation. Let's pull a piece of garbage out of my pocket. You don't even need documentation. So you can't even make me give you documentation, but if you need some, here's my documentation. Oh man, that's funny. Eating, drinking, exercising, or participating in strenuous activity. I just can't imagine. I mean, maybe that's what I'll just say. I'm walking from point A to point B, and they're like, sir, where's your mask? Well, this is strenuous activity. Phil Scott said I could do strenuous activity. He's like, what do you mean you're just walking? Well, you don't know how unhealthy I am. You don't know how hard this is for me. You don't want to be discriminatory towards fat people or out of shape people, do you? Oh man, but it's pretty funny, man. There's just really there's no principles here. You don't have to go along with this nonsense. The fact is, you don't have to go along with nonsense. When the governor tells you to do something that he doesn't have the power to tell you to do, that's stupid. You don't have. You heard it here first. 80 Robles said you don't have to listen to that stuff. Anyway, I hope you find this video helpful. If you didn't watch my video from earlier today, I highly recommend you watch it. In fact, you can click here to watch it. It is fantastic. Keep clicking. Keep clicking. By the way, share, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We've been growing. The channel's been growing. It's been great. Thank you so much for all the kind messages I've been getting. I've been getting a lot of kind messages. So thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Have a great weekend, and don't forget to dodge that Rona like it's a job.